Welcome. It's my 13th sealed. Lucky for some. We'll see how we do. I tried a best of three yesterday, and went 2-2, which is actually it's not too bad in best of three. You get 1,200 gems back, so we've got enough gems to play two more sealeds. We'll see how we do. I think I'm gonna go all the way. I'm gonna keep playing sealed until I am totally out of gems. That seems like fun to me. So here's the rares. First of all, this is the useless rare, the most completely useless rare for sealed. I mean, you could, in theory, you could get a couple of planeswalkers, but it's so unlikely that this is going to do anything at all. So we can ignore this card. Right. Today I was reading through some tier lists. It's kind of interesting to see how people rate other people rate cards, and they put Thran Portal in F tier. Well, yeah, F tier or D tier. So this card reminds me a bit of City of Brass, that's the original tap land, the original pain land. Gives you a mana of any colour, but it does you a point of damage every time it taps. This one you have to choose a land type, so you can choose any basic land type. And it's that type of basic land, so it does count towards domain, so that's quite good. And you have to pay 1 life every time you activate it. So it's the new City of Brass, is the way I see it. And in fact, also it comes into the play tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. Interesting. So it's actually untapped when it's an early land. You want to play this earlier, and then of course you have to you're going to end up having to pay the life cost. So people, don't like this land, but I like it. I think it is another source of mana fixing. I think I'm gonna definitely try and play this. I think we'll see how we go. We'll see how much life I have to pay out for this card. And down here we have an artifact of interest, Golden Argosy. I don't know how you pronounce it. I've heard this referred to as the boat. People were talking about the boat deck. I had no idea what they were talking about. So 4 mana, 3/6, and it crews for 1. So that's an okay deal, I think. Crewing for 1's pretty decent. Whenever it attacks, exile each creature that crewed it this turn. Return them to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so in your end step, pretty much, because obviously that's going to happen. That's triggered by your attack phase. So it's not triggered by when it's blocking. So this is for enter the board effects, as far as I can see. We want enter the board effects with this card. Talking of enter the board effects, we have Anointed Peacekeeper. So it's a 3/3 for 3 with Vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, you look at your opponent's hand, choose any card name. Spells your opponent's casts with the chosen name cost 2 more to cast. So this is a bit like the Elite Spellbinder. Activated abilities or sources with the chosen name cost 2 more to activate as well. So, kind of interesting. I'm wondering how it works with... Because I know when he dies, it stops... His abilities no longer in play, so it doesn't work. If he exiles and comes back... Is it a new card that gets taxed, or does the old card still count? I'm not quite sure on that. I'm not very good on my my exile mechanics. Now, I think Vesuvan Duplimancy, not Diplomacy, Duplimancy. Somebody actually played this yesterday, and I read 2 tier lists today. I think one had this as a trash enchantment. It was D tier or F tier. The other had it in tier A. It does help to look at a variety of tier lists, I think. Whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single artifact or creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that artifact or creature, except it's not legendary. Okay, yeah, this seems powerful. You need spells that target that you want to target on your own creatures. You could even have a damage spell you cast on a creature that doesn't kill it, maybe, ideally, so that you make a copy of it. I guess some people put this in cards like this in F tier because they say, oh, it's a do nothing card because you're spending 4 mana, it doesn't do anything. It's you have to spend more mana for it to do something. It's kind of a glass half full, glass half empty. I say you have to invest tempo into this card. So you'll have to kind of... You have other cards in your deck to kind of sort of seize hold of the game and create and just kind of hold the board position. Right? So here you give up a bit of tempo. You're spending mana for no initial gain. But you're hoping for big gains perhaps in subsequent turns when you can spend all your mana and copy your guys. So that's the way to look at it, I think. In some decks it will be just a bit too much of a luxury, and in other decks it could be absolutely wonderful. We'll just have to see if we've got... it has to be a single target, so single target spells would be very useful. And now here we have Braids, Arisen, Nightmare. I've heard about this card. So it's 2 black and 1 for a 3/3. So it's quite difficult to cast on curve. That's my first observation. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with it. For each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life, and you draw a card. So it's a really, really good card. I think it's going to be quite good with token strategies. It could be quite creature tokens, treasure tokens. Could be good to have kind of a balanced approach, so you have something of everything in your deck. We'll see. Obviously, it's completely random here, so we'll see how we get on in that department. So I think I'm quite keen on playing Braids, and I'm quite keen on playing Vesuvan Duplimancy. So probably black-blue. I've already tried the Peacekeeper. I think he's not bad at all, but I don't have to play the Peacekeeper again. But maybe he's kind of semi-splashable. Yeah, 1 white and 2, kind of semi-splashable. Maybe it's a powerful enough effect you don't mind. Maybe wait. If you're splashing white, you might have to wait till turn 5 before you can cast this guy. And maybe he's still kind of good on turn 5, but right. Because and looking at your opponent's hand always has some value to it, I'd say. Right, we will continue. So we're looking for enter the board effects such as Peacekeeper. and single target spells. They are going to be particularly interesting here. Right, so we're just going to do a bit of sorting. I usually start with artifacts here. So, and this is also colourless cards. I'm looking for mana fixing, card draw, card selection. I'm looking for evasion creatures, and I'm looking for removal cards as well. Right, so Thran Portal is good mana fixing. We're going to be brave, and we're going to play the new City of Brass, basically. And I like the Librarian. He does a bit of card selection for us, a bit of scrying. So this can get you out of a mana screw. Well, if you have 3 lands. You can maybe find the right colours. Maybe that second source of black for Braids could be very relevant. Golden Argosy works really well with Enter the Battlefield effects. I think this is a really good synergy card. For example, you could use it to bounce your Librarian, cast it again, and get another scry for 2. Could be fantastic, in fact. Right, looking at the white cards here. I will do a little search for defenders. I'm always curious to see how we doing in that department. I haven't made the defender deck yet. Okay, yeah, it's just Academy Wall and the drawbridges. The drawbridges, I don't usually include them, but technically it is going to be a removal spell. So there's usually 2 ways you lose. In sealed, it's usually small evasion creatures or big creatures, but it can also be, people can go wide in this set and hit you with a mass pump spell, which doesn't happen quite as often, but it's usually the big creatures or the small flyers. So this in the pinch, this can help you against both, but it's very mana intensive, which is why I'm not the biggest fan of it. But in a pinch, this is a bit of emergency removal. Artillery Blast is, it's an okay removal card, I would say. So this is more geared towards, this can take out the small evasion creature. You're probably going to have at least 2 basics, so it's like a lightning strike on a tapped creature. Benalish Sleeper, I think it's okay. It's an edict effect, which can be very useful. Destroy Evil is removal. We like that. We skip this one. We like the Peacekeeper. Vanguard is just alright, but we'll skip it. Cavalier is good. It's an evasion creature. I really like Stall for Time. It's very interesting to see somebody put this in D tier in the tier list when this has been a really excellent performer for me and for the decks I play against. They've destroyed me with this card. Very happy to see 2 copies of this. That's going to make any white deck I make a lot stronger. Griffin Protector, it's an evasion creature. 2 prayer binding, so really fantastic. 4 mana, takes anything out, and you gain 2 life just as a bonus. And then Shalai's Acolyte, the biggest, I believe it's the biggest flyer in the set. It's an uncommon. You can kick it and get a 5/6 flyer, which is pretty good. So I think white is pretty strong. Yeah, I've just included 15 white cards. I'd say the drawbridges are, I don't know if they make the cut or not, but we'll keep them there for now. So we'll look at blue. Combat Research gives you card draw. I include this. Illusionist is good, so it's cheap mana fixing. So it's not ramp, but think of this as it's like a mana elf that instead of giving you an extra green mana, it turns one of your mana into mana of any colour. It's actually a bit like the we don't have one, but the mana worker for 2 mana. Similar effect. Rona's Vortex is very good removal. We were thinking blue-black as a possibility. Obviously that works very well. Rona's Vortex can also be found with the Micromancer, who I've spotted down here. We're just thinking of the Micromancer. I'm just going to have a little search for 1 mana spells. So there are actually 3 blue spells, and a couple of black spells. Well, oh, 3. We've got 3 Urborg Repossessions. That's a very, very interesting situation. I wonder if we might have some. It'd be nice if we have some self-mill cards. I'm thinking to go with that. So yeah, Rona's Vortex is good. I think I'm going to say, because I've included combat research, that means I like Shore Up a bit more. It means it's a way of sort of protecting your investment. Timely Interference, it's 1 mana, it's a cantrip. We can fight it with Micromancer. It's just very playable. You know, it's a 1 mana cycling spell that might actually be useful as well. Essence Scatter, yeah, removal. I don't love it, but I think removal spell is good. Impede Momentum is good removal. Impulse, good card selection. Joint Exploration is pretty good card selection as well. I'm a fan of the Wall. It gives you a bit of draw and discard. Lets you dump those late game lands and gets useful stuff. Espionage is definitely card advantage. This is another blue-black spell as well. Yeah, Micromancer is good. And what does this say? It looks at spells that are targeting a single artifact or creature, right? So I'm thinking in particular of Timely Interference. Can target any of my own creatures. Shore Up can target my own creatures. That only hits things I don't control. Combat Research targets my own creatures. So we've got some we've definitely got some synergy here with the Duplimancy, which I'm very happy to see. And I think the Tolarian Terror is good. I think it doesn't come in under any of my categories that I'm looking for. There'd be a new category, which is efficiency, which is just having potentially very good power and toughness for the amount of mana they cost. And we've got several spells. There's a good chance we can actually get the cost down for this to something reasonable. So I think that can be included as well. Now, this lets me return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Let's read Vesuvan Duplimancy again. Okay, I guess a creature in the graveyard is not a creature you control. It's not technically a creature. Yeah. Right. So Bone Splinters is good removal. Urborg Repossession, pretty good card advantage. The green kicker lets you get a second card back. Right, Battle Rage Blessing. Yeah, I've seen people use this one. I think this is good. Death Touch and Indestructible. Why not? I mean, cast that on my Pixie Illusionist. It can kill pretty much everything. And guess what? It's another spell that targets a creature that I have. So that I see a lot of potential with this card, with Duplimancy. We have the Knight, the Pump Knight. It's a good card. Vivisector, good as well. Lets you scry. Pilfer. Nice cheap discard card. You get to see their hand. I think I like this. Splatter Goblin, I usually skip this one because -1 isn't a huge amount. It's like it's trade up potential, so it can take out a 3/3 on the ground. So yeah, it's okay, but not a must-have. Not a fan of losing life points. I know I'm running Thran Portal potentially. I don't want my creatures to just lose me life points when they really don't have to. Balduvian Atrocity is pretty good. Get something back from the graveyard temporarily. Could be pretty good. And Braids is pretty awesome. Oh, the Soultender. So this is the self mill card I was looking for. And this can be a late game bit of a mana sink that brings back a creature card. And we've got the Warhorse as well. Could make a token. We've got a glimpse of the lands here. These look very good to me. So we've got 2 blue-black, 2 red-black, 2 green-black. We can do anything we want as long as we're playing black. So that's a very good sign. Yeah, we needed green for the Urborg Repossession, of course. Oh, red for the Balduvian Atrocity Kicker as well. So we'll look at red. So Amplifier, I think, is good. I like the Picker. Discard and draw is definitely all right. Get rid of those late lands. Steel Crusher. I think it's just okay. It's just okay. Hurling Battle Hymn is fantastic. So 4 damage and gaining 4 life is so good for 4 mana. Strike Team is good, so it makes 2 soldiers. This is an evasion creature. It has Trample. Little known fact, Trample is an evasion ability. Hurler Cyclops is really good. Sack creatures to do damage. 2 Firenados is fantastic. And Molten Monstrosity, it's expensive, but it's an evasion creature. It's got Trample. We'll look at green. Okay, not excited by the Stalker. Bite Down is good. Snare Spinner stops the flyer. That's the rule. If you can stop a 2 toughness flyer, you're a good card in my book. The Prodigy is really good, so this is just card advantage when you have the kicker. Choose one card from 3. Gardener's good as well. Death Touch and ramps you some mana. Scout the Wilderness, you get its good ramp, as is Weatherseed Treaty. Wow. Okay, look at all that ramp. Magnagoth Sentry is another reach creature, which is I like reach creatures. It's basically another removal spell for a flyer, is the way I look at it. And I think in this case the Sojourner is pretty good, because green is going to be it's got a couple of cards that can find lands and just dig and make this guy very cheap. Right, and we'll just look at all the multicolored guys together. We'll add all of these lands. So Balmor Battle Mage Captain's great. I think Najal is great. Add these lands. The Bonerattle's fantastic. Queen Alanal is really good. So, in fact, there's probably only a couple of multicolored cards that I wouldn't consider. Zar Ajanan is fantastic as well. Pumps up all of your small creatures when it taps. So it doesn't. Whenever I do this, I never end up cutting that many cards, as you can see. So we've barely got a page of cards. We basically almost included everything. 17 white, 16 blue, 14 black. So with all the multicolored cards, that's boosted white up to 17. White is definitely a strong colour. It's tempting to play white, but we've got the blue-black plan, which is I feel like that is the more interesting deck to play. I get to play a cool rare. Couple of cool rares if we play Braids. But I'm running out of gems. I feel like it'd be nice to get a really good result. So I have to sort of wrestle with my conscience and decide if I just need to get some play white and get some more gems, because the white looks very strong. But yeah, green and red, I guess, have got fewer cards. Doesn't mean that they are weaker. I'll go ahead and say red. Red doesn't inspire me too much. We can cut red. Yeah, they've got one Hurling Battle Hymn. That's an amazingly good card. I've always wanted to play the Cyclops. I think that's another good one. Can we play green as a main colour? Bite down definitely doesn't work with Duplimancy. Has to target a single thing. Yeah, let's cut green as well. It's a very good ramp, but maybe not much else. And yeah, let's cut white so let's get a good look at the black-blue deck. I think I could probably almost certainly splash for Bortuk Bonerattle here. That takes us down to 47 cards. That's without very much actually left out. I wonder how many creatures there are though. Yeah, it's only 12 creatures. So it would be a kind of a blue-black spells deck. The more card selection, like Impulse, I run, better chance I've got of getting my Duplimancy. So I could just kind of focus on going for that. It means that Braids doesn't have much to sacrifice, potentially, if I don't have many tokens. I think we'll definitely have to give this a bit of a think, and I might, yeah, tell you what, we might cut black. That's my feeling, and then we just see if blue-white can work. If we just look at I'll look at the white cards now. Potentially, you could shoot your own creature and copy it, if it's going to survive. You could even tap your own creature with Stall for Time to copy it, as long as you're only targeting one creature. I think that's... Wouldn't be so good with Prayer of Binding, but there you go. Can't have everything. What is black adding to the combo is a good question. I think it's the 2 Battle Rage Blessings. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll call that end of part 1, and I'm going to have a bit of a think. So thanks for watching so far. Welcome back. So I've landed on blue-red here. Because I was looking at blue-black, of course, because we had Braids, which I fancied playing. It did have a couple of Battle Rage Blessings, which go... That's specifically the card that goes with Vesuvan Duplimancy. So that seemed to make a bit of sense. I had a look at white as well. You can do things like cast your Stall for Time on a creature when you've got the Duplimancy out and copy something. But I was just swung by red, just like by the fact it's got 3 removal spells. That just seemed to make sense, and a couple of blue-red creatures, and I think, yeah, in fact, Nejal was what swung it. So this is a guy who can copy spells. And that just seemed like an amazing combo to have with the Duplimancy. So he's copying the spell, so you're actually possibly copying a targeted spell and doing 2 copies with 1 spell. That seemed ridiculous, so I thought we've got to try and get that happening. Red doesn't really add any spells that we can target on our creatures without killing them. There is Hammer Hand. I don't really want to play it very much. Yeah, it's a bit dubious. So we'll get by the ones we've got. I guess that we want to cast on our creatures are Shore Up, Timely Interference, Combat Research. We can Ronus Vortex as well. That will bounce the creature. We don't really want to impede momentum, because that'll stun it for 3 turns. But hey, you could do that in a pinch. Yeah, so that's only 10 creatures, but it's one of these spells decks, so I don't know. I don't have huge confidence in blue-red. This is the problem with blue-red. But when you go below 17 creatures, I feel a little bit sick. But we'll see how it works. But I might take this into a couple of games. If it loses both 2 games, maybe we might do something completely different. But should be amusing. Of course, I've just gone into a game. Haven't really checked the land. Did that take us out of the game? I think so. Good, good. We've got to check the land. Let's make sure we haven't got any silly lands. I think that's the only thing. We've got 5, 6, 8 blue. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8 red, and we've got Thran Portal. We're gonna man up and play the Thran Portal. Even though it's F tier in a lot of tier lists, I think I like mana fixing, and I don't mind spending life points for it. We may come to regret it. It may be a terrible, terrible decision, but someone has to be brave, I think. Okay, let's go. So last thing, I took out the Hurler Cyclops and the Keldon battle team, which they're both pretty good cards, but they're kind of a package deal. One makes tokens, the other one is good for sacrificing tokens. I decided just not enough tokens in the deck, not enough creatures. I don't really want to sacrifice my creatures. It's probably just a couple of creatures that just don't go with the theme too well. Right, let's see. So, got a Goblin Picker. It's an early play. Let's keep 7. Let's say hello. Okay, I've got the Bog. It's got an early play. Go with the Goblin Picker. God, you see, this is a pretty good start. I'm gonna say. I'm going to trade off like that. Now removal is, you see, a bit this one's expensive. I could bounce that back to his hand. I'd rather pop it on the bottom of his library. And we're falling behind, you see. This is the problem I have. This is a Pump Knight as well, so you can Vortex. I think the Pump Knight will go to the bottom. distinct feeling I'm getting battered here. Now, Gear 2 Amplifier we can't really do much with. I think I will Impulse. Okay, land or Argosy. That's quite nice, quite interesting. Get to Amplifier, no, next. And turn. Warhorse, okay. Right, Duplimancy. So that's the combo. Duplimancy combat research on a really cool creature. Will he destroy my creature? Almost certainly. That's the problem. I think we'll open up with a Gitu Amplifier on his charismatic vineyard. Well, if he has removal for Najali, he just wins. Okay, let's do Gitu Amplifier. Bounce a Vanguard. The Argosy can do something useful. Oh, okay, he's gonna shut down the Duplimancy, I guess. Or probably the Firenator. So this is the thing, you can just win really against blue-red if you're playing, you know, a mana curve of creatures. I don't have any sweepers. Okay, that's dead. So that was the remove spell. Okay. Got the island, so yeah, I can't fire Nado. Can play this guy. Combat Research gives him Ward 1, I suppose. But yeah, we're gonna be greedy with the Duplimancy. So I guess he's got so let's think about it. There is a 4 mana removal spell. The Combat Research gives me the best chance of survival here, even though it ruins the Duplimancy. Because he might have the 4 mana removal spell and no extra lands. Yeah, we've got to do it, I think. Shame. Okay, let's take out the Peacekeeper. Because this guy can just sack 2 things. Okay, good game. My bad. See, I wasn't even thinking. That was just effortless for him. Because my deck has got very little, very little in terms of creatures. Got no lightning strikes. That's very, gotta say, that's very dispiriting. I immediately want to get rid of this deck because there's, oh my god, there's no way of beating something like that. What do we think? What do we think about Essence Scatter? So yeah, I used the Rona's Vortex, 4 mana removal. It's quite expensive. We got We got close to the Duplimancy, I guess. Yeah, pretty brutal. I can play my own. See, I can play my own Peacekeeper if I play white. I think let's stick to my guns. This deck doesn't look like it works. Let's play it once more. We've got 2 more losses we can play with. One more loss, I mean. Okay, well, we got the 2 red hand, but we've got the picker who can discard and draw, so I think we go for it to try and fix. Well, that's some blue. Okay, all right. Yeah, let's go for a pick rather than holding up Essence Scatter mana, I think. Got the Librarian, okay. So tap land, next, no attacks, end turn. Okay, let's block. Gonna lightning strike my poor goblin picker. Now, should we discard a card? He didn't cast a creature this turn. I want to tap out next turn. I'm thinking discard Essence Scatter. How about a kicked? No, we can't do that. Okay. It's 5 mana to do that. That would have been better if I knew how much mana that cost. Would have been better if I had a counterspell right now. I'd feel a lot better. Hog Badger, okay. So I think it's we've got no answer to the Bog Badger, so we'll just have to kill it. That's cool. And now we'll espionage with Kicker. Furious Bellows out. Okay. Get an island. Let's get the Academy Wall going. And next. It's not the best creature to copy, but it's something. Okay, he's got the scrying going. I think things might begin to happen here. Now, it'd be interesting if he's sort of pretty focused on the ground. That's a Pump Knight. With not very much white mana. Okay, my turn. I'm doing well for mana, and I'm quite happy actually about that. Okay, let's actually cast the Vesuvan Duplimancy. We might just have to discard the combat research. We can do these things at instant speed. Copying the Academy Wall's not my... Oh yeah, I mean, I just played a land, didn't I? That wasn't smart. I've got an Academy Wall. I don't know how to play my deck. This is part of the problem, right? Okay, Mire's outright. Mire's outrighted. That's some damage happening. Okay. Okay, we're going to Timely Interference the Academy Wall and copy it. Yeah. Let's draw a card. Sure. Let's discard the combat research. Okay, okay. So we can actually absorb the Outrider on one of our walls. That is my thinking here. We don't need to blow it up. That said, it might be a good idea. And I will be able to discard two things. And I'll be able to scry something. So, I am going to blow them up. Take action. So, let's discard the mountain. Okay, that's cool. Let's discard a geothermal bog. That gives us me a 3/3 flyer. Aquifer can scry to the bottom. Okay. And that's another card we can discard, right? Except it gives us white mana. We've used the only white kicker thing, haven't we? So I think that is something we can discard. And turn. Okay, my turn. Okay. Right. So the idea is we're going to kick our Pixie Illusionist like that. Okay. Anything bad happens, we bounce it back to the hand and it should get copied, right? Oh, it has to be one I don't control. Oh, that's a pain. Okay, another Mirror's Outrider, sure. In my turn. So instead, we will put the Reach creature on the bottom of his deck. You'll eventually draw it again. Yeah, let's draw a card. Let's use the Beachfront. Draw a card. That's nice. Let's lose a mountain. Let's attack with the Illusionist. We are going to actually draw through our entire deck if we're not careful. And we'll end the turn there. Only got 14 cards left. He's got 24. So actually, I think we want to play Najal first and then copy the Impulse off Najal. That would make a lot of sense. Bog Badger. Menace. Okay, blockers. I'll block with both my walls. Oh, nice. Guys, mate. Okay. 7/7. Take out one of my walls. Okay, my turn. Okay, Micromancer is pretty sweet as well. Attack with the Illusionist. I'll play the Storm Runner. And the turn. How many one-drop spells have I done? Citizen's Arrest. Okay, I think I did all of them. That's the only trouble. Okay, Citizen's Arrest. Yeah, he's out of that. Okay, Academy Wall blocks there. So you got to have another Giant Growth. Nope, okay. We will Impulse. I'll decline to draw a card because I don't have many cards left. Okay, Firenado. Does a good job taking out his next big threat. Only got 11 cards left. I will swing in like that. We've got 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's War Brute. And Micromancer. Even though it potentially takes a card out of my deck. There are none left. Yeah. That's the second time that's happened to me with Micromancer, but I suppose it is pretty late game at this point. He can pump that to a 4/4 first strike. So I think, I mean, this could be a mistake, but I think we want to speed the game along a little bit here. Okay, I've got 10 cards left. I'm going to Firenado his Knight. I will draw a card, because why not? I don't think an extra turn. I don't think the Thran Portal is what we want. E2 Amplifier seems good. Let's enlist with the Micromancer. Okay, let's loot reinforcements. And take up the shield. Okay, okay, sure. Had a good little set of instants in his hand there. That's very impressive. See what he can top deck. Heroic charge would be pretty bad for me. The funny thing about bouncing the Bog Badger, he does get to do that, enter the board again. Which might be dangerous. I'll just take out a token. Definitely one less blocker he's going to have. It does mean he has a 4/4 blocker to stop the Micromancer. Oh, destroy evil on that. Okay, good top deck. Let me think. Guy's Might probably does kill me, right? So swing in the air. I've got 7 cards left. He's got 19. Sort of now I'm thinking, oh, I should have drawn a few extra cards. Okay, it doesn't have reach. Yeah, oh wow, okay, we did it. We won with the deck. Right, even though I won, having 1 or 2 second thoughts about the deck, just one or two. It's not very, I want to say meaty. It's, I think the word is durdly. It might kind of have a lot of card draw and ways to get to its stuff, but if somebody plays a 2-drop and a 3-drop, I think this deck's pretty much dead meat. And because it's waiting to turn 5 to use the main removal card. Still, I guess I'm happy. I saw Vesuvan Duplimancy in action there. I might bail out here and try a different style of deck. So I will just stop the recording here and have a rethink. And welcome back. So we have a new deck. So you see it's white-black, and we are splashing for Vesuvan Duplimancy and Bortuk Bonerattle. So the idea is, hopefully we can copy Braids at some point with one of our single target spells. So we've got Battle Rage Blessing, we have Artillery Blast, which hopefully won't kill her, but yeah, we'd actually need to have one basic land type. That's not going to work, the Artillery Blast. That unfortunately is going to kill her. I might need a rethink there. Yeah, we don't have many ways of casting spells other than the Battle Rage Blessings. Just debating whether I should play it anyway. Oh, that's right, Stall for Time. So I think we've got to put Stall for Time can copy Braids if we only target Braids with it. That's the plan. We've got to take out 2 things. It's not so easy. I guess 1 Splatter Goblin goes, and 1 Artillery Blast. Yeah, let's do it like that. Okay. Okay, I feel okay about that. There's 4 blue sources in the deck. There's like 3 green sources, 8 white, 9 white, 9 black still, which is should be pretty consistent. I'm happy with that. Right, we'll just go for it. It's a long shot. There's only 4 ways to copy Braids with the Duplimancy, but we've got to take a shot. So, pretty good. Plains, swamp, and green. One of our kickers. 4th land is good. Right. He's using the grotto. Okay, he's out of there. So we're going to get to scry, which is good. Bone Splinters. I'm going to say with Phyrexian Warhorse in the hand and the plains. I think that's going to be a good draw late for a bit later on. But we might have to just play the Warhorse next turn, because it looks like we're not much is happening. Let's go ahead and play a Sleeper. He's out there. I think he has a hand of removal. Okay, this guy's pretty solid. Gives him card advantage, so he can get land, he can get goblins. We could tap him down in his upkeep with Stall for Time, because we want to draw more cards on this side of the board. That's my feeling. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. I mean, it's a crap Stall for Time, but okay, Rona. Wow, 2 creatures. Really didn't work out like how I hoped. I could Stall for Time again, tap these 2 down. Hope to get that 5th land so we can Warhorse and do stuff. So, which is the bigger threat? It was not a land. That's another creature. Oh my god. Okay, that's a bit of a rollout, and we're way behind. Oh god. And yeah, we just didn't draw any lands. This just keeps making goblins. It's just so this is what Stall for Time does for you sometimes. Not a great deal. Okay. Prayer Binding. Okay, how about a Knight of Dusk's Shadow? Fancy getting a Knight of Dusk's Shadow into play here. Okay. Next. Done the turn. Can only get to 3/3, but see if he can respond with instant removal. Oh god. But no life gain for you, Sonny. Right. I mean, it's not going great, but we'll play it a little bit cagey. That is flash speed, no attacks, and end turn. Artillery blast, okay. Okay, tribute to Urborg. Is it the kicked version? Yeah, I guess so. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Just the multicolored hits just keep coming. So it has to be Warhorse would kick Bone Splinters on Tatiova. Right. Well, I'll say one thing. We hit a bit of removal. Right, so we want 7 mana for that, so we'll hold off on that. Our Cavalier. Okay, sure. That sucks. See, yeah. Let's just calculate here, so 4 damage coming through. What where? Yeah. I don't know if invulnerable I can't remember if he just still tramples over me. I bet he does. And may as well sack the Cavalier as well. Yeah, it did. Still tramples over. Nice. Just the cherry on the cake. Beautiful. Right. Tear asunder from my enchantment. Tatty over. Just literally every possible thing. I can do best I can do is a Shalai's Acolyte there. Might just win with this. Yeah. Sure. They always get perfect mana somehow. I just don't know how they do it. The answer is, yeah, they're playing a domain deck. You don't even register the domain decks who don't hit their mana and don't do anything. You just roll over them and forget about them, I think. It's the ones that have ridiculous card after ridiculous card that kind of sticks in the memory, I think. So yeah, we got stuck on 4 mana with some 5 mana cards, or it was a Warhorse we wanted to kick, so we could make a token to use Bone Splinters, basically. I think it was the right decision to do stall for time a couple of times. But there you go. Right, let's add it to the decks as well. Right, we've got 2 black mana and a Braids. We might actually get to cast Braids, which is pretty exciting. Just need to top the deck a land at some point. It could happen. It did happen, that's good. Do we want to do Braids turn 1? I'm going to say no. I think it's the Vivisector. He's counter... No, he's impulsed. Okay. Drake. Okay. So, how about we sack a Vivisector and to just draw a card. Or we could just Bone Splinters the Soaring Drake. It's also a good move. It's kind of a dilemma, I think. But how about Tapland, Splatter Goblin? I feel like it gives me more options. Next turn. I think, yeah, we hold back on Braids. Play the Cavalier. Okay. And how about Bone Splinters the Drake and swing in? No, I don't want to do that. Just decided. Lightning Strike on there, okay. There is... Okay, I think I want land number 5. I think that's okay. He's short on land. I think I can play... I'll try playing Braids, see if he counters it. And I believe we can sack a swamp at the end of the turn. Right. I think I'll use... What? Maybe I'll use Bone Splinters to kill his Soaring Drake. Maybe that makes a certain sense. As far as victory for that, okay. Swing in for 2. We have Urborg Repossession, that's pretty cool. Okay, that's not so great. So, little problem with this guy. He's got Ward 2. And stall for time. Gets very expensive. Right, let's do something with Urborg Repossession. So Braids and about the Vivisector. That might make a lot of sense here. The Vivisector. I'll swing in. Managed, yeah, 3 things in the graveyard. A nice cheap terror. Sarah Acolyte, not Sarah, Shalai, I should say. Let's swing in. We could Braids, we could Shalai. I think I'll do Shalai. Put the pressure up. That's lightning strike proof. He might have a counter spell though. Yeah, he did have the counter spell this time, okay. Another Tolarian Terror, okay, nice. So I guess the cool thing, I can stall for time. No, I can't stall for time on both of them. They both have ward. That would cost 4 extra mana. Okie doke. Well, we're going to spend 6 and prayer of binding one of them. It's the best I can do. Oh shit, well, it goes, my hand. He's splashing red, sorry, splashing black for that card. Amazing, okay. Unbelievable. But, you know, it's a sorcery and he's playing an instant sorceries deck. Why not? Lightning strike as well, to the dome, and he wins. Oh, good game, yeah, okay, well that's how you lose, I guess. we switched deck. We got spooked by the blue-red deck, and we just lost 2 games in a row. It happens. And yeah, we got completely blown out by the card. One of the discard cards I hate. That he was splashing in his blue-red deck because it's so good that he had to splash for it. Yeah. That's about that. That's about right. I suppose it's all about getting 2 Tolarian Terrors and some spells that just that seemed to work for him. Twinferno to finish off. Pretty nice. Yeah, we didn't quite get the dream of cloning Braids. We got to play Braids and got to see her very quickly get killed. Got her back from the graveyard, but we were dead before we could play her again. So, good fun. It's a game of Magic for you. Pretty sure we've added this to decks. Actually, what else can we say about the deck? What happened in the previous game, though? That's already got. Oh, it's a classic 5-color domain. Hits all his colors in about 5 turns or less. Plays lots of very powerful cards because he's picking all the best cards from the sealed deck. All the multicolored things, all the big things. Plays them one after the other. I kill them one after the other, and then he has Herd Migration to as a finisher. Yeah. So that's another classic sealed deck experience. Well, yeah, I've been racking my brains over this. This is a bit of a brain melter, this sealed deck. I couldn't decide what to do with it, but white does seem pretty good. I do like Stall for Time, even though it wasn't quite the best in that scenario. Yeah, a Battle Rage Blessing would have done well against the Tolarian Sea Serpents, whatever they're called, Tolarian Terror. Yeah, Shalai got. She's only 3/4, but she wasn't kicked. But she got counterspelled. I was expecting something to hit an Essence Scatter. Never played the Thran Portal. Never got to sort of ping myself for damage and then regret my choices when I die by 1 life point. Which is another fun experience you can have. Right, yeah, we got 400 gems out of that. So if I do another one, the goal is 770 gems, and then I can do another one after that, 770. We'll be going 3 and 3 in best of 3, or 2. I think 2 and 2 in best of 3. Yeah. Oh well. Still, that was fun trying to figure out what deck to play there. But yeah, as is often the case, it didn't quite work out. Maybe I should have stuck with a blue-red deck. Maybe that one was quite silly, just silly enough to work. I don't know. I don't know how Magic works anymore. Anyway, thanks for watching.